G'day mate, I'm FPLRoo and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another FPL video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the Game Week 29 wildcard and we're looking at all the transfers made up until Game Week 38, the end of the game. So in this video, we're going to be assuming that you still have your free hit chip and bench boost chip. But if not, we can work around that as we talk further along in the video. So here is the Game Week 29 team. I've gone for Still in goals, who has Brentford at home and Bournemouth away. I'm also going for Edison with Liverpool at home, who will be on the bench. This is because Brighton and Man City do have quite a lot of double game weeks coming up, and they kind of alternate almost perfectly. There is a couple of times where they both have doubles, but most of the time, Brighton have a double and Man City don't, and City have a better double than Brighton, and vice versa. Defence, we've got Luke Shaw with a double. So Man United is a team you're going to really want to target, as they again have a load of doubles before the end of the season, but we'll go on to that further along in the weeks. But this week in Game Week 29, they do have Newcastle away and Brentford at home. Trippier has Man United at home and West Ham away, and Chilwell has Villa at home and Liverpool at home. So 2 home games for Trippier, which is really, really great. For the bench, you've got Emerson with a double and Botman with a double, but as you are playing a wild card, you are unable to play your bench boost in the same week. So that doesn't matter who you've got on your bench, really. In midfield, we've got Solly March. So again, with a double, Brentford at home, Bournemouth away, Bruno Fernandes and Rashford with Newcastle away, Brentford at home. So really want to load up on them Brighton and Man United assets, as they will be having loads of doubles before the end of the season. Matoma, again, another Brighton player, and James Maddison with Palace away and Villa at home. This midfield is ridiculous. Goals galore, assists. Hopefully it can perform in the next game week, in Game Week 29. So up front, I've gone for Darwin Núñez. This is because Liverpool do have a double in Game Week 34, and by playing the wildcard in 29, you can prepare for that. And he doesn't have a double in this game, although it is a tough double. Darwin can score against anyone, and Liverpool, as they've seen against Man United where they scored 7, they can score against anyone too, and they can score a lot of goals. We've also gone for Havertz, so Villa at home, Liverpool at home, and Haaland on the bench. So again, as you're playing your wildcard, you can't play your bench boost, you can afford to have Haaland on the bench, which is great. Captain for this week will probably be Rashford, and then vice captain, let's go for Maddison. So yeah, really strong team. You've got 11 doublers out. You've even got doublers on your bench if some of your players get injured, say. But yeah, looking really, really strong. But we'll move on to Game Week 30. So with Game Week 30, you still have some really good fixtures. We'll just swap Edison, and then this does have Southampton at home, and we'll move Solly March a bit further up. So with this game week, you've got Edison with Southampton away. You're going to want to roll your transfer in this week as well to go into Game Week 31 with 2 transfers. Luke Shaw with Everton at home, Trippier with Brentford away, Chilwell with Wolves away. Midfield is Matoma with Spurs away, so not the best, but Brighton can score against Spurs, no problem. Fernandes with Everton at home, Rashford with Everton at home, Maddison with Bournemouth at home. Then the strike force will be Haaland captain. Darwin has Arsenal at home, which is not the best fixture, but like I said, Liverpool at Anfield are a different beast. They put 7 past Man United recently, so I'm sure they can put a few past Arsenal. Not sure they'll win the game, but I'm sure they can score a couple goals. And then Havertz with Wolves away. The bench, you got Still, March, Botman, and Emerson. But we'll move on to Game Week 31. To Game Week 31, you'll be making 2 transfers. So you're going Chilwell to Alexander-Arnold and Maddison to Mahrez. So this is not directly for this week. You're planning for Game Week 34. But as you're playing your free hit in Game Week 32, as it's a massive blank, you want to bring in players for Game Week 33 and onwards. So this is why we brought in a Liverpool and a Man City player, as they will double in Game Week 34. In goal, we've got Edison with Leicester at home, Luke Shaw with Forest away, Trippier, Villa away, and Alexander-Arnold Leeds away. Fernandes and Rashford with Forest away. Matoma with Chelsea away. Mahrez and Haaland with Leicester at home. Darwin with Leeds away. And Havertz with Brighton at home. Again, really strong team, really good fixtures. Haaland probably captain again, and even the bench, you got good players on there. So you just bear in mind you've got Botman and Emerson on the bench that haven't featured yet, but they'll come into that later on in the video where I'll show you where they will be very useful. And now we'll move on to the free hit team. So with the free hit team, you're going to want to target Arsenal, Liverpool players mainly, and then fill in the blanks with kind of West Ham, Spurs, and maybe a wild card pick. I pick that a real differential pick. So I've gone for Areola, who has Bournemouth away, and then Danny Ings as well, who Bournemouth away. So two West Ham players. I'm hoping West Ham can sort out their league form by this point, and Bournemouth, although they've been picking up a lot of form recently, you do fancy West Ham to get a result out of that game. The Arsenal boys, so they have Southampton at home. We've gone for Gabriel, Saka, and Martinelli. So really good fixture, Southampton at home. You're going to be wildcarding out your Arsenal players as they don't have any doubles. So this is a game week with a really good fixture where you'll want them back. So as you can see, after this Southampton game, they run into City away, Chelsea at home, and Newcastle away. So it's kind of a good way to get them in for this week, but not carry them through City, Chelsea, and Newcastle. Also going for Pedro Porro, Newcastle away. So I'm hoping Stellini, Conte has been sacked now. Stellini can kind of free up the team a bit. Pedro Porro can get more forward, get them assists, get them goals that we know he can get, and we know he's got for Sporting. So that's why I've gone for him. Liverpool, we've got Forest at home. I've gone for Alexander-Arnold, Salah, and Darwin Núñez. So a really good fixture. They'll be fighting for top four and out of every other competition. So Liverpool are going to be a great pick on wildcard and in the free hit team. So if you don't have your free hit, you're going to want to basically have free Liverpool probably in your Game Week 29 wildcard team. And you're probably going to want to have a couple Arsenal players too. And also West Ham, as they do double in 34 as well. Saka, like I said, Saka and Martinelli from Arsenal. Also got Solomon from Fulham. So Leeds at home. He's been on fire recently. He scored basically in every game, the last 4 or 5 games. Kind of a wild card pick. That can be someone else. That can be Elise. That can be Zaha as someone like that, like a player that you're just going to have a 1 week punt on. Up front, we've got Harry Kane, Newcastle away. Tough place to go, St James's Park, but Kane is on fire this season. And if it wasn't for Haaland, we'd all be raving about him. He's just got the England top goal scorer ever and Spurs in the last few months. So I'm sure he's going to want to try and catch Haaland if he can. Already mentioned Darwin. Also Danny Ings with Bournemouth away. If West Ham are going to get out of trouble, it's going to be because of Danny Ings and the goals that Danny Ings scores. He has been getting a few in the cups and a few in the league too, but I'm hoping he can hit a vein of form by then and get a few goals. And then a bench, you've got Botman, Emerson, and Elise. But we'll move on to Game Week 33. So Game Week 33, you're back to your 1 transfer. So this is a really, really tough game week as City play Arsenal and Man United play Spurs. So it's really tough to pick good players from these teams. So Ederson in goal, we've got Arsenal at home. You could play Still with Forest away, which is not a bad shout. But yeah, we'll leave that as Still in goal for now. We've got Shaw, Spurs away, Fernandes, Spurs away, and Rashford, Spurs away. Trippier, Everton away. The Liverpool boys, so Alexander-Arnold and Darwin is West Ham away. Mitoma has Forest away. Mahrez and Haaland have Arsenal at home. And Havertz has Brentford at home. So all your players, it's going to be a tough one for captaincy pick, but you're probably going to have to go for Darwin or even a Trent punt. But it's a really difficult week. You could even play March instead of Bruno or something like that. But yeah, it's all preference really for captain choice for any sort of players to get a high score as 4 big teams are playing each other. So it's a very difficult week. But we'll move on to Game Week 34. That is a double game week. So in this game week is going to be one of the weeks where you might look to play your bench boost. You've used 1 transfer and gone for Havertz to Isaac, as you'll see why in the next couple of weeks. You're always preparing for the next double game week. So in goal, so you can go for Still, but I'll probably end up going for Ederson. with Fulham away, West Ham at home, Mahrez as well, the same fixtures, and Haaland. The Man United boys of Shaw, Fernandes and Rashford had Villa at home and Brighton away. Liverpool players, so Alexander-Arnold and Darwin Núñez, have 2 home games, Tottenham at home and Fulham at home. And Emerson, who's the player I mentioned earlier, has Palace away and City away. And the Brighton boys, March and Matoma, have Wolves at home and Man United at home, 2 home fixtures. And then you've got a bench of Steele with a double, and then the Newcastle boys with Southampton at home, which is a really good chance to get that clean sheet and play that bench boost. We'll talk about how we could play it later on as well in the season, but we'll go on to that later on in this video. But this is a good option to play that bench boost if you still have the chip. If not, it's a good chance to get in Newcastle players, as they do double later on in the season. But we'll get to that now. Game week 35. So 35, I've gone for Emerson to Pedro Porro. Like I said on the wild card, he's an attacking fullback, hoping Conte gone now. Spurs are going to be attacking more fullbacks, so we're getting more forward and creating more chances. Again, you've got the City boys, so Ederson, Mahrez, Haaland with Leeds at home. The Man United players of Shaw, Rashford and Fernandes with West Ham away. Liverpool, Alexander-Arnold, Darwin Núñez with Brentford at home. Matoma, March with Everton at home. And yeah, that's how you're looking. So you got the 3 Newcastle boys on the bench with Arsenal at home, which is a tough fixture, and still with Everton at home. We'll move on to the next double game week though. So this is where your Newcastle players will be coming in. So Steele has a double game week, but Ederson don't. So you're probably going to want to play Steele, even though that is a very tough double game week. So I've gone for Shaw with Wolves at home. The Trippier, all the Newcastle boys, Trippier, Botman and Isaac with Brentford at Brighton at home and Leeds away. The Brighton boys, still Matoma, March. I've got Newcastle away and Arsenal away. Man United boys have Fernandes and Rashford and Shaw, have Wolves at home. Haaland has Everton away. And I already mentioned Darwin has Leicester away. So even a bench boost in this week could be a good option. So it's a really solid single game week bench boost. Ederson, Everton away, Porro, Villa away, White, Brighton at home, and Mahrez with Everton away. So this is another great chance to play the bench boost. In this week, you have done a transfer of Alexander-Arnold to Ben White. If you weren't going to play a bench boost, or if you were going to play a bench boost, you might want to keep Alexander-Arnold. But if not, you probably want to get in Ben White. Game week 37 is another double game week, so you can see why it's very useful to play your wildcard in game week 29 if you do have it. So in goal, you probably go for Ederson with Brighton. Ederson, Mahrez and Haaland have Brighton away, Chelsea at home. Not the easiest fixtures, but you fancy City to be going for the league and pushing strong for that. Man United have Chelsea at home, Bournemouth away. So you've got Shaw, Rashford and Bruno Fernandes. Ben White with Forest away, Pedro Porro with Brentford at home. The Brighton boys have City at home and Southampton away. Again, one good fixture, one bad fixture. And yeah, you got Harry Kane with Brentford at home. So your subs this week were Trippier to Mitchell and Isaac to Kane. So you're not going to use your Newcastle players for the rest of the season, as they do have tough game weeks. So they've got Leicester at home, Chelsea away. So you're probably just going to get rid of them. So there's no point. You could be playing your bench boost though in this week, because you've got Darwin, Mitchell and Botman on the bench with a double game week. So another great option to play that bench boost. But it's totally up to you where you think is the best week. And then the final game week, you do have a free transfer and you have players with great fixtures. So you have that free transfer. So it all depends what you want to go for. You might hear Mahrez is being rested, so you might want to take him out and maybe go for someone like Martinelli, who Arsenal are going for the league. So they might want to, they'll be pushing for that. So that's a good option. You could go for, really Martinelli is probably the only option, or you could go Bruno Fernandes if, say, Man United are still in the Europa League and they're going to rest players. You could go to Saka, someone like that maybe. But yeah, all depends what's happening at that time. So you probably find out nearer the time who will be the best player. For me, I'd probably just go Martinelli, or even Odegaard, and get that Arsenal player in where they could be, well, would have won the league, or they could be winning the league by then, and that will be kind of a fixture where they either lift it or they win it. So that will be the final team of the game week. This is a chance to really punt on a player, though. We've seen fixtures, game week 28, 38 fixtures in the past where players have scored hat tricks. Lukaku got a hat trick against Man United once, and Ferguson's last games. We've seen Kane go absolutely crazy towards the end of the season, chasing for that golden boot. So yeah, game week 38 is a really good chance to play, to get a player in basically that for 1 week only. You can take out the players that you got loads of money tied in because you're not going to need them again. You're not going to buy them in again. But yeah, that was the game week 29 wildcard. If you did like this video, please make sure to smash that like button, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, let me know below what you think of this wildcard, and are you playing this wildcard? And good luck for the game week, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.